Welcome to Balanced Beauty Talks, the podcast where we redefine skin health through a holistic lens.
I'm Natasha, an esthetician and nutritional practitioner passionate about helping you nourish your skin from the inside out.
I'm Dr. Khadija, an esthetician and naturopathic doctor here to explore the natural pathways to radiant skin.
And I'm Alicia, an esthetician and skincare enthusiast. Together, we're diving deep into the world of aesthetics, merging modern treatments with internal wellness, so you can achieve long-lasting results without compromising your health.
Whether you're a seasoned professional looking to elevate your practice or someone seeking effective solutions for conditions like acne, you're in the right place.
Join us as we share expert insights, inspiring stories, and practical tips that empower you to embrace a truly balanced approach to beauty.
So get cozy and prepare to transform the way you think about skincare.
Welcome to Balanced Beauty Talks.
Please note that the information provided in this podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you heard on this podcast. Your health and well-being are important, and we encourage you to make informed decisions.
Welcome back to Balanced Beauty Talks. Today we are diving into our most popular skin treatments of 2025. Whether you're looking to resurface your skin, boost collagen, or achieve that ultimate glow, we'll break down what makes these treatments so effective. We'll also share who these treatments are best suited for and how they'll fit into a holistic skin approach.
Okay, so let's start talking about what so far our top treatments of 2025 have been. Like, what have been the most popular, do you think?
Yeah. I would say laser resurfacing is probably right up there for me. I've been doing a lot of them this year. Well, really since like November. That's been a pretty busy treatment. So if you guys are unaware of what laser resurfacing is, it combines fractional and ablation. So we're getting a really comprehensive resurfacing treatment all in one treatment. So we're doing something called deep fractional, which is really it's creating microthermal zones in the skin to tighten and remodel collagen, essentially. Tighten the skin, remodel collagen. And then we're using a microlaser peel to be ablative, and that's working a little bit more surface in the skin to really retexturize the skin, work on fine lines, wrinkles, just the texture and the tone of the skin. So we're getting deep remodeling of the collagen, but then also very surface with like more textural. So it's nice that you can have fractional and ablation all in one treatment. Yeah, I think that has really created and yielded some amazing results for people when it comes to acne scarring, post-inflammatory pigment or erythema, deeper wrinkles and fine lines, tightening and lifting the skin. It's been a really popular treatment and the results have been amazing. So yeah.
And the upside is we use an erbium YAG here. And so it differs from CO2 in downtime immensely. People with CO2 are down and out for weeks. and sometimes months. It is an intensive procedure and it has great results, but there was a lot of negative feedback on CO2 as well for a bit. There was a lot of treatments that were a little too deep. They ended up kind of a grid on the face or some waxy skin afterwards. And so later on, they developed erbium, and so it gives very similar results, but with downtime that is less than 1 week.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
There's still downtime, but most people can't afford the downtime of CO2.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to have that much downtime in your schedule, especially now. So I think that's where this is really nice. Like 2 of these treatments is really equivalent to like a CO2 treatment. But yeah, around like 4 or 5 days of downtime. The first 12 are the most significant. It's a bit spicy after, but I mean, for the results, amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think you've seen? What have you been treating the most of this year?
Definitely laxity in the skin. A lot of like, when your patients come in and they're lifting at the cheek and they're like, my face feels like it's falling. It's falling. Crow's feet, forehead wrinkles. We have a lot of patients too who are just not in a place where they want to explore neuromodulators. So this is a great kind of alternative to that. This is a way that we can actually restructure the collagen fibers in the skin, significantly impact the depth of that wrinkle without having to utilize neuromodulators. Some people love them. Some people are on the fence and they're just not sure that they're ready to take that plunge. So I think this is a great option for people who really want to be not just preventative, but really corrective in a treatment. So that and acne scarring, because we do have a fair amount of patients. A lot of our business is acne focused. So acne scarring, I think this has been this is my go-to really for acne scarring at this point, I think.
Me too.
Yeah, I agree.
Something I really like about the custom laser resurfacing and Fotona in general is the ability to use it on different skin tones.
Yes.
I think that's something I'm always looking for myself, but also for clients, because we have such a variety in skin tones that we're working with. And so with this treatment, there's obviously some preparation we want to do for the skin when you have darker skin tones. But the fact that you can even do scarring treatments or deeper treatments or more resurfacing treatments on different skin tones, I think is such a valuable offering to have.
Yeah. And that's also something that CO2 can't do.
Yeah.
Safely.
Yeah. It's difficult to find. So it's nice that we have the capability with this laser.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a secondary treatment that we do a lot of, and we always have done a lot of, is just our signature facial. We call it our level 3 facial. And it's great in combination with all these more corrective treatments like the laser resurfacing, or it's wonderful on its own. It just depends on what you're treating, but we have a very customizable approach to this facial, and it is actually the first treatment that Natology ever did. It is what the business was built off of, was just that, integrated with some nutritional support as well. And so, it's just gonna, I think, forever be one of our top treatments, because it combines. I found a lot of the places that I worked at previously to Natology, it was either like very spa fluffy relaxation or very like bright lights, medical,
very clinical
experience. And so now with this particular facial, we've really taken the two and combined them so that we're treating both internally as well, just from a nervous system standpoint. And so people have the opportunity to come in, have the dim lights, get in a really cozy bed, but still have a very clinical and corrective treatment, which is amazing. So.
Yeah, it's a nice marriage between like relaxation and results. That's how I like to think about it. And it really is like, if you look at that facial, that is who we are, right? We're giving you the results, but in a really calm environment. And even when we're doing laser treatments, I think that's one thing that our patients really appreciate about this clinic, is that they aren't really under bright lights necessarily. We're doing it in the most kind of relaxing way we can, even if they're uncomfortable for part of that treatment. We're always really taking their comfort and our level of care into consideration, even in more invasive laser treatments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really important to us that people feel calm, because it's scary for some people when you haven't done these things before. You're anxious, and the anticipation sometimes is 70% of the anxiety around that treatment. So if whatever we can do to take that down, and really walk you through it, that's what we're here to do. And so I think people really appreciate that we can kind of relax them before we laser them.
Totally, they come in really nervous, so we do whatever we can to put them at ease and make them feel relaxed and comfortable before the procedure. So
for me, with facials, that was kind of my first love with doing skin treatments. But I feel like prior to coming to Natology, it was pretty basic, and I didn't feel like I was offering much treatment through a facial. And I remember when I first came here, and I had a conversation with you, Natasha, about the facials that you offered here. And I remember you showing me the photos on the wall, the before and afters that you had, and you said a lot of these are through facials, and it was a lot of before and afters with acne. And I felt like that was a big moment for me, because it kind of changed my mindset around facials. I loved giving facials, but facials can be such a deep treatment for people, especially with acne, because there's so much you can do that facial is an hour and a half. So there's a lot you can do in that time to customize things to people. And so like for me, the fact that we have that, sometimes it's people are kind of shocked when you do a consultation and you're recommending a facial first, because for them it's like, oh, that's just kind of like a relaxing treatment. But there's so much you can pack into one facial, and so many results you can get from a few different facials at a time. So that was really a big thing for me.
Yeah, they can be really impactful for people.
I find that that's one of my favorite services to recommend the second they walk through the door, because it gives them an opportunity to really learn, and know us and the experience that we can provide and the education that we have, versus just a quick consultation, we can really get our hands on their face and really show them a little bit more of what we can do.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's a great entry level service to gain people's trust. So
and I think feeling relaxed in an appointment and feeling comfortable and like cared for is part of the skin journey and part of treating your skin and healing your skin. So I feel like it's a nice mix of both, again, like the treatment and the comfort and coziness of a facial.
And the treatment is for absolutely anyone. There's no one that can't benefit from a level 3 facial. We can customize around pregnancy. We can customize around any skin condition. Wherever you're at, we can meet you there with that facial.
Yeah, it's not intimidating. I mean, some people feel a bit nervous. We're not there to sell you things. We're there to understand your relationship with your skin, what your routine looks like, and kind of meet you there. I don't really ever have interest in selling someone a 12-step skin routine that doesn't even wash their face at the moment. And we see a lot of people that just don't even wash their face. So there's no judgment from us. We've seen it all at this point. I think we've heard it all. And we're just here to have like a nice, warm, welcoming environment where you can understand your skin a little bit better. And we're here to educate you on your skin. And hopefully you get to relax a little bit. Maybe take a little LED nap and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think that's definitely always going to be one of our number ones. So, what's another one we've done a lot of in the last one?
I think another big one is probably radiofrequency microneedling. So that's like a combination of microneedling and adding the radiofrequency. So microneedling, the point of microneedling is to cause microinjury to the skin. So you're stimulating your body's natural response of healing, which includes stimulating collagen production. And when you add that radiofrequency, you're adding some element of heat, which kind of enhances that process a little bit so you can get a bit deeper. And so that's really good for things like acne scarring, but anti-aging as well, and just tightness or laxity again of the skin, both for the face and the body. So I feel like it's a really good one because it can target a lot of things. And again, kind of focuses, it is a more of a holistic process because we are trying to stimulate the body's natural healing.
And it's also, this isn't talked about a lot, but it actually can be really helpful in some cases of acne as well. And it does that because the depth and the added radiofrequency can actually destroy the sebaceous glands that are causing excess oil production. So with that excess oil often leads to acne. So by addressing that, we are actually reducing. I've actually seen, I might have to quote these in the notes, but I've seen some studies that it was, I believe 70 or 80% decrease in acne just using RF microneedling alone.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why I initially even brought RF microneedling into the clinic was an individual, a doctor in the United States, who spoke about how she has replaced a large majority of her Accutane prescribing to just doing RF microneedling. So that was really a big seller for me. And I would say that, we've seen definitely some movement in acne.
Yeah. And even just changing like cystic pathways. If anyone has experienced cystic acne before, you often get the same spots in the same places. This is causing like some sublimation of that pore. So it's tightening everything up and killing some of that bacteria. So you can actually prevent some cystic acne too. And even irregular pores that are kind of less of like a U shape and have a little bit of curve at the bottom where a lot of bacteria will tend to pool, that sublimation and that tightening of the pore can cause that irregular pore to kind of, tighten up a little bit and have less of the bacteria collection as well.
Right, so, totally. And a lot of like the cystic acne in the same spots can also be just in overactive sebaceous gland as well. So by regulating that, and you can see incredible results. So, and you're also addressing the acne scars at the same time. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 in that case, which we love, obviously.
I think too, the nice thing about the device that we have in our clinic, we had a lot of time during COVID to do some experimenting with other devices on the market, which allowed us and gave us the time to be really choosy about the device that we landed on. And we noticed through that process really small enhancements or tweaks or differences in the delivery of the energy throughout the treatment made a very big impact on comfort level with our patients. So things like using a 24 karat gold needle, the beveling of that needle, the smoothness of the motor, the way that goes into the skin. So a little bit smoother, all of these things, I feel they yield less downtime and way more comfort. I think our patients, if they've done RF microneedling in the past, a lot of times when we convince them again to try our device, they're pleasantly surprised with the downtime is so minimal. I mean, you can go back to work the next day, which we've had RF microneedling before in the past, an older model, and that was not the case.
No.
And I think through that process too, we learned, okay, you really do need a package of 3 to be effective. One is very much like preventative. So that's going to target about how much collagen we lose in a year after about 25. When you move beyond one, you're now moving into correction. You're being corrective. So that's depth of wrinkle, scarring, etc. But we couldn't get our patients to do 3 treatments because it was so uncomfortable. So it wasn't a financial commitment. They had already made that. It was like, oh God, I have to like do this again. This is torture. And we were empathic people. So that was uncomfortable for us too. Just as the practitioner, we were like, oh man, this is stressful for everybody.
Yeah.
So we had to take a little bit of time and due diligence to really find a device that made sense for our patients, that we knew they would come back for and they wouldn't bail after 1 or 2 treatments, because that's not great. You're not going to get anywhere with that. And I feel like we really landed there.
Yeah.
It paid off for us.
I myself victimized myself to a few
You
treatments
did. You really
to
did.
explore. And I would have to say that we landed on a good one. And you know, the just back to being motorized, there are certain devices out there that are out there and very popular that actually don't have a actual motor, and it's just more of like a trigger system, and it can create a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain and a lot more injury than what is necessary.
Yeah.
And so we found a device that just has a very nice, smooth and slow motor that slowly enters the needle into the skin and out, and it's just minimal damage and way more comfortable. So
yeah. Yeah. And it is nice that the lack of downtime is there so that they can go back to life. That's definitely a determining factor for a lot of people, is like how much downtime. So it's really nice that this is offering very little downtime. Can confidently say that. Even in our past treatments, we've had our patients return for LED to kind of accelerate their healing process and reduce some of that inflammation and redness. We really don't have to do that anymore because it's like such an in and out, and like they're back to life and nobody knows that they've done anything.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is really great.
Yeah. And actually, since we were talking about the level 3 facial, add a level 3 facial 3 to 4 weeks after that, and you're polished right up. Yeah. It's a great combination.
It definitely is.
So I think when you are faced with a lot of treatment options, it can be really challenging to figure out which treatment is right for you. And that's where the importance of having a thorough consultation, a personalized, customized consultation is really important, because whatever treatment you are going to undergo needs to be the right one for your needs, your goals, and where your skin is at. Sometimes your skin may not be ready for certain treatments. We kind of have to build you up to something. And so having that consultation to see what your skin needs and where you, how we can get you to where you want to go is really important. And so I think if you are at the place where you want to try something, maybe you want to try something new, or you're completely new to skincare treatments, booking in a consultation is going to be the most important step for you to really get that journey laid out for you, so you know where you're going and you feel comfortable with the process of what treatments are coming for you.
Totally.
Yeah.
So if there are any treatments that you're interested in, or you are looking for consultation, you can always refer to our website, our Natology website, and you can book a consultation on there. We also have our treatments listed out, and you can read more about them. You're always welcome to give us a call, and we can explain some more things to you, but a consultation is always the best way to get the most information and get a customized approach to your skin.
So now we're going to go into our first Ask an SD segment. We want to thank everybody for all their questions on Instagram. We're just going to pick 2 of the questions today to answer, which are, let me take it.
Okay, well, our first question, when is the right time to start anti-aging treatments?
I think the best time to start is probably between the age of like 25 to 30.
Yeah.
That's when our collagen production is really starting to slow down, and we need to do things to be kind of depositing into our collagen bank account, if you will. So we're not just withdrawing from there. So that's all of these treatments that we just chatted about are going to do that. Other options are also using a retinol in your home care routine and a vitamin C to help you hang on to that collagen, and most importantly, an SPF, which obviously the sun is responsible for 80 to 90% of our aging. So being preventative is very important. But those 3 home care products are great for stimulation of collagen, hanging onto the collagen that you have, and protecting your skin. And then, yeah, I think 25 to 30.
Except obviously for SPF. You want to do that starting the day you are born.
Yes, that's important.
There you go.
There's no time too early to start your SPF. But for the other ones, yeah, I would say 25 to 30 when we start to really naturally start to burn through and stop making active collagen. So whatever we can do to be preventative, that's a good point to start.
Yeah, totally. Okay, what's the next question?
Okay, next question is, what is your favorite way to detoxify the body for someone with hormonal acne?
Ooh, I feel like this is one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a huge question. I feel like we could really dive deep into this, but when we're talking about detoxification, I'm always thinking about the liver first. I mean, your skin is still an organ of detoxification, and there's many ways to support that physically, but I think I like to go back to the liver and make sure that it is doing its job of metabolizing hormones, breaking things down, and it's just functioning appropriately even for your digestion. So I think I tend to start there with people, and that can look like a various amount of supplements depending on what we're trying to do with somebody. But if I'm talking about liver support, there's a specific formula I like with Designs for Health that is the LVGB complex, because it just has a lot of different herbs and nutrients in it that really support the liver detoxification process. And it's really gentle for the body. I feel like it's just a nice supportive way to introduce liver detoxification. That's not to say that there's not many other things you can do to support the liver, and I think some investigation is really important too. But I like that there's milk thistle in there. I think there might be NAC in there. There's a lot of different vitamins in there that I think are really beneficial.
Totally. Yeah, that one's a good one. Awesome, guys. Thanks for listening. Next episode is all about supplements for acne. So stay tuned. Bye.